Yeah, so it's already recording.
It's does that mean we're alive?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're not live, but yeah,
Oh,
so
it's recording, right?
yeah,
Right.
so I mean, like, yeah, this is just authentic, off the cuff,
The
sort of,
that's right.
sort of
YouTube.
just like whatever. Like
Exactly.
we're talking to somebody, but it's just they don't know we exist yet.
Right.
But I guess you can do an intro.
And I can tell that's backwards, but that's all right. See how the sign is backwards?
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. I don't know
Uh,
why it does that though.
it says free meals, folks, in case you don't know. So if I have 300 people knocking on my door, it's because this was a success today. Isn't that the best? Huh?
I mean, yeah.
So yeah, this is the YouTube, and I'm not going to edit any of this stuff. I don't think we need to do that.
No, none of that, none of that.
For tomorrow.
Yeah.
Lawrence, my next door neighbor, Lawrence. I'm Mark. We're going to think of some kind of a name maybe for this. Our meeting was rather unusual, but very good.
Yep.
And we became friends right away.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd like to tell them perhaps how we met, maybe just briefly. So
oh yeah, the quicker story. So the quicker story is basically I moved in here and was coming back from work one day and I had smoked vape at the time and basically smoking the vape next door would go through the vents and it got on his clothes, so he came outside and we met, and it wasn't really an altercation, but it was more of a, hey man, you got vape on my clothes. And then I sort of went back to my room, Googled it. I was in the wrong. I go back, knock on his door. And then ever since we just been friends. But again, it's more of a it was
spontaneous.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a good word for it, because it was just more of a. I mean, I wasn't really thinking at that point. I just was it was almost as if I was being commanded to do it. I don't really know, but that just started it off. It kicked it off to
Yeah.
different doors opening up.
Sure.
And I'm actually glad it happened because
Sure.
I wasn't really happy. Well, no, I wouldn't really even say happy. It just, it just.
Well, like I said, it was a real refreshment for me, folks, because, here I'm the old guy, and this is the young cat over here, and I'm going to complain because my apartment smells like smoke. Well, what's the problem, Mark? Hey, you smoked for 30 years. How are you gonna tell this guy he can't smoke? He's paying rent.
Yeah.
So all this goes through my mind, and I said to myself, I should just tell him the truth, just see what happens. Somehow it's getting through the vents, and it was a little bit bothersome to me, and I was a little disappointed,
Yeah.
And so I only seen him come and go. So I didn't know him until this particular day. So I swallowed my pride, and I just walked up and I said, I used to smoke for 30 years. I know how it feels to smoke. By the grace of God, I managed to give it up, and it seems like the cigarette smoke is coming right through the walls. I don't get it, and that's how I put it. I guess it went over okay. And this guy, he stopped smoking.
Yeah.
What? It's
mirror.
one thing, just to say, well, okay, I'll smoke outside from now on.
And
No.
I contemplated that too, but then I was like, oh man, but then I can't. Yeah, you're right. I contemplated. Didn't mean to
Very
cut you off.
unusual.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
It just was one of those things where, yeah, screw that. This is authentic. Yeah. So it was basically, yeah, I contemplated that. I was sitting there going, oh man, so I have to go outside, and then. But if I'm laying in my bed and it's nighttime, do I really have to go outside? But it puts you out of yourself, because you're sitting there going, okay, but now it's not just me, now now I have to be responsible for somebody else, which is, again, it's like, even in that small sense, it's like sometimes people do need responsibility. People do need,
Incredible.
integrity. They do need these things. This is something that I think that a lot of people don't have, or not really don't have, but can't achieve, or I wouldn't really say can't achieve, but it's just they're not really given enough responsibility, or I don't know. Some people just fall off the wrong, fall off the wagon, and it's almost as if they can't. I don't know. They don't have the capacity. I mean, in AA they say it's like they are the unfortunate, like the ones that and the only way that they are able to is that they have a capacity to be honest with themselves, and a lot of people can't be. I mean, I've been. Like I said, honest with myself to, quote unquote skeletons in my closet. I accept them now. I'm just like, it is what it is, because it's like, I'm not going to sit there and just say like, I'm this perfect human, because even in the and it's on a subconscious level. If you think, for example, you're not doing anything wrong, you can be. You know what I mean? You can be inflicting pain on yourself, and you think, oh no, it's only to me.
Right.
But no, you're actually hurting others. Like in the bigger scheme of things. Like I was telling you before about the Feed the Children. It's like, well, you sitting on your butt drinking all the dang time. There's someone starving in Africa or a country like right now even Ukraine. It's like, geez, live outside yourself for a second.
Right.
You know, and once you open that like third eye, so to speak, it's like there's no going back. And so all the excuses you make is just kind of like you just don't want to take responsibility. And so if that's you and you make that choice, then that's what you. But then that's exactly what AA teaches is they don't want to be honest with themselves. So they're going to constantly be in that cyclical, chasing that high, whatever. And then they may get on prescription pills, and then you know where that goes. That's an inevitable, life of being bedridden or whatever the case. It's not a good life. But
I just, I wanted the folks to know that, I don't know how the viewership's going to be compared to Facebook. But I applaud my new friend Lawrence. I guess we've known each other for over a year now, right?
Yeah, over a year and a couple of months now. Yeah.
Because I work in a supermarket. I see hundreds of people every day.
Yeah.
And if there were more Lawrences out there, I think
well,
I'd be a happier guy.
The form I am now, because that's a pivotal. I mean, like I started as a produce clerk at 18, 19, and
Incredible.
Man, I didn't know what that meant. But when you tie that into the truckers in Canada, you tie it into. That's why I said I give respect to the people that drive on the roads now, especially that I have to work from home. It's like because they feed us. It's those farmers that get the food and the ones that transport it. Yeah. And even in the AA meetings, there's some truckers that tune in, and it's like you're sitting there going, "Well, you might be an a-hole, but you are that guy that's transporting those goods, whoever is growing that food, like, geez, oh Pete, because you can learn about the famine. I just learned in my class about the famine to the Irish immigrants that back in the 1800s. I didn't even know that there was a potato famine, but man, that wiped out a lot of
very good history.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know that, but
the potato famine.
But I didn't know that, and so again, that puts into perspective of how lucky and grateful we are to be able to have food. And so even when you're that 19 or 18-year-old that has a job at the produce and you're complaining that you're a manager, but again, that's just a naive kid who doesn't really know how the world works and how everything's connected. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I want to applaud you for this man hasn't had any cigarettes since that episode, so I'm applauding because I quit smoking about 3 times before I finally really and I've been in AA meetings because I managed to get off the booze myself, and it was a spiritual experience for me to get back to my faith. And I don't know how people can do it without faith, but I applaud this man because he has faith too, and that's what I think we need in our schools. That's what we need more so.
Oh yeah, and that even in the chance of it being just optional. Like I'm not gonna be super polarizing on that political stage, but it's just. And I know there is the option. You can always pull your kid out and go to private school, but again, it's out of the cost for parents, and some parents can't afford to do that. And there probably are grants and stuff like that, but you know what I mean though. It's like it's sort of why is public school free, and then you don't want to incorporate. I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be as clear cut as religion, but
I guess you're the younger version of me, the sober younger version.
I would think so, because I mean,
And I've been sober for. That's why AA is a good place. I really applaud them. I spent a few good years with a sponsor to keep it because I was afraid. I actually had I guess what they call the fear of God. I'm in my 50s, my early 50s, and I'm drinking every day, and I can't. I'm not able to stop just like that, and so it's a pretty good decision. And I would say that at this point, maybe we'll just let everybody go, and then tomorrow you guys will see this, and then we'll talk about life together, and we'll see how far this goes.
Yeah, there you have it. Yeah.
All right, you guys, take care.
Oh, see ya.
Thanks.